Hi. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. How you doing? Hope all is well. From Gambaga to Accra, from Riosu to Keta, wherever you are in this country and all around the world, watching us on hashtag GTV Breakfast, GTV Ghana, Facebook. You're welcome. This is GTV Breakfast. We're streaming live and we are giving you everything you need to start your day. My guests are seated. This is our Tuesday morning panel. And they are Dr. Eric Udro Osai. He is the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency. And Professor Daniel Bruce, who is a clinical psychologist. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. And just to let you know that we have conversations on some free surgeries, cleft palate surgeries that you need to be part of. There's a conversation on the exodus of Ghanaian health professionals. Why is it happening? And then the role of community theater in nation building. Today is also International Albinism Awareness Day. And we'll have a conversation with the executive director soon. But for now, let me just fly through. Let me find out what is on the minds of my guests, first of all, before we even go into the headlines. I'll start with Dr. Osai. What's on your mind this morning?
Thank you very much, and good morning to our viewers. On my mind this morning, I want to congratulate the newly sworn in Chief Justice. She's welcome, and we trust and believe that she will live up to expectations.
Okay.
The second one is that district chief executives should not sit in their offices. They should not be armchair chief executives. They should get out of their offices. They should walk and go into the communities and address the challenges head on. The rains are here again. They should start desilting the waters. They should start desilting the bridges. They should start desilting the gutters. They should start work now. They should not wait for the unexpected to happen. There are a number of potholes in certain local governments. Please, chief executives, you can decide to wait for central government, but there is something that you can also do. Don't fold your arms. You can get the guys in the area to even fill the potholes with some broken stones in the interim, whilst you work with the urban roads and feeder roads to make sure that these potholes are completely filled. It is not good. You have to do something. You are there as the chief representative of the president, and let people see that local governance is closer to them. Thank you very much.
All right, Professor Bruce, thank you so much for that, Mr. Dr. Osai, on the welcoming the new CJ and ensuring that DCEs must leave their armchairs and go and see what's happening around. Prof. Bruce, what's on your mind this morning?
Yeah, I would like to support my colleague also in congratulating our new Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Gertrude Torkornoo. You know, her appointment is becoming a role model for our young lady adolescent girls who think that all about is to bow down to the biological demands of their age. The more we have women appointed to these higher positions, it becomes an inspiration for the younger ones, especially the ladies, to know that it's not about bowing down to biological demands when you get to the adolescent age, but you must have a goal that one day you also become like that. In our career development counseling, we have realized that there are not a lot of factors that are working against our girl child and the adolescent girls. So her appointment, I think, is a welcome news. All our ladies must see to it that, well, even though they have a biological duty to perform, they still have their career to pursue, provided they take their education seriously. They should not, at any point, bow down to biological demands of sexual gratification in order to redirect their focus on what they want to become in the future.
That's what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Bowing down to biological demands. Yeah. Deconstruct it wherever you are. Let's look at the headlines this morning. Daily Graphic: we need morally upright judges, President Akufo-Addo declares as he swears in new Chief Justice. That's on the front page, a picture there of beaming smiles. Let's consolidate gains in constitutional democracy, says Speaker Bagbin. Data Protection Commission warns public against online loan applications. I think this is very much in tune with what we've been thinking about and talking about over the past 2 weeks. Education, changing world requires new teaching approach, says the GES Director General. Complement government's efforts in provision of clean water and sanitation, it's a call there on page 35, and make tree planting a civic responsibility. It's a story there on page 27 of today's daily graphic. Ghanaian Times, bring honor to judiciary, President tasks Justice Gertrude Tokonu, page 12. 37 military hospital ordered to release man's death report to family. That's the story there. Ghana regains first position in gold production, says a very proud lands minister. And Asensu Boache says Ghana is committed to new urban agenda and the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. All right. The business analyst, Moody's upgrades Ghana's local currency ratings, should be good news, from CA to CAA3, stable outlook maintained. IMF program and others could help Ghana improve credit rating. DOG, which is the Bank of Ghana's efforts to dampen inflationary pressures now impacting on economy significantly, and Ghanaians are suffering because of economic policies. That's page 5. And why are workers and employers ghosting each other? That's an interesting headline there in today's business analyst. So those are a couple of headlines that we have this morning. I'll start with Dr. Osai. Which of them interest you this morning?
Two of them. Mm-hmm. The Moody's upgrade from CA to CA3, mm-hmm. and the President's admonition to the new Chief Justice that we need morally upright judges.
All right. First of all, who are Moody's and what's the significance of this? What are they rating?
Moody's are rating private rating agencies. Worldwide, we have a number of rating agencies that rate securities across the globe. Securities are investment instruments, be it shares, stocks, bonds, etc. So they rate it, and the rating is according to the risk of default. That if you buy or you invest in this particular bond or this particular security, we use a generic term, securities. If you buy this particular security, the risk of default is very high. So then they provide this rating to inform investors in their decision making. So anytime Moody's upgrades a country or upgrades the security of a country, it means the risk of default is lowered or is very low, and it engenders a lot of confidence in the investor community. So I'm happy about this upgrade, and I expect to see more upgrades as Ghana continue to implement various interventions towards fiscal consolidation as far as management of our economy is concerned. So it's good news, except that we are not out of the woods yet. We should continue to press home the expenditure rationalization measures, the revenue improvement measures, and the fiscal disciplinary measures that is required in every economy. And once we are able to do that, I'm very positive that we'll receive more upgrades. Currently, we are CAA3, and I'm expecting that before we end the year, they move us from CAA3 to about B, and gradually we'll get to AA.
Okay. AA is the top rank.
The top rank,
okay.
AAA is the top rank.
All right.
So,
okay, good.
So that, and for the Chief Justice, the Article 128 Clause 4 is clear that a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a justice of the Supreme Court unless he is of high moral character. So it is a condition to all our judges before they are appointed have exhibited this high moral character quality and proven integrity. Not only integrity, you should have proven that you have integrity, and you should not be less than 15 years standing at the bar. I think the statement the President made does not suggest that we don't have judges of integrity or judges who are of high moral character. They are. But I think he's reiterating and re-echoing the fact that they should continue to live by the tenets of Article 128, Clause 4. And this is where I also want to hammer, that the President has made the call, judges must continue to live by it, and Article 128, Clause 4 is saying that we have to prove it on a daily basis. So I urge all of us, officers of the court, lawyers, judges, anybody who uses the court, as far as dispensing justice is concerned, let us live by the high moral character and proven integrity requirement under Article 128 of our Constitution.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Moody's ratings and the congratulations to the Chief Justice for coming in, and the admonition for judges to be of high standing morally and ethically. Prof. Bruce, what tickles your fancy this morning?
Yeah, I'm still on the Chief Justice.
Okay.
Yeah, to uphold the judicial integrity of Ghana. If you test the emotional feelings of people about the judicial system, I'm sure many people may not be happy with the current events we hear from the courts. Her coming in must actually be the beginning of the transformation of restructuring our judicial system. With all apologies to Parliament, before they elected the current Speaker, we all saw live, as we were doing all night, how our honorable members of Parliament behaved when it came to selection of the Leader of the House. We were told that they saw someone of the parliamentarians eating a ballot paper. That is a great indictment on Parliament. But up to now, we have never had any kind of disciplinary action taken against this man. What implication are we sending to the society? And even his own constituents do not ask him to come and apologize for behaving that way. He's still in Parliament. He goes to perform duties in his constituency. There are many things that have gone wrong. We heard that this person is taken to court. We don't hear judicial pronouncements on people socially that this is what awaits you if you violate the laws of Ghana. We don't hear it in public. And so people are taking the cause for granted. That after all, you only go and come and nothing happens. No, please. Especially when our leaders seem to violate the law. We must see the action of the court sending indication to all of us that, look, if you go against the laws of Ghana, you never go scot-free. It is only in that West that we can see some kind of discipline in our society. Now everybody is taking the law into his or her own hand. Look at what happened in Bochano. Just shooting so-called Langas to death. This case will hang there. We don't even know how it will end. So the judicial system, I am calling upon them that there must be public pronouncement on wrongdoers for us to know that you did A and this is the punishment. Otherwise, we will continue to misbehave and we'll have a lot of indecent activities on our hand as a country. So that's what my appeal to her.
Okay. All righty. So those are the thoughts. We'd like to hear from you as well on 055-556-1034. Now, remember on Green Ghana Day, whilst the program was just about to begin, there was the whole brouhaha around the national anthem and the president looking visibly angry at the chiefs who did not stand for the anthem. Well, there are some developments on this. Let me deal with the anger side first of all. So the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, and this is on graphiconline.com, the Greater Accra Regional Council Coordinating Council has dismissed reports claiming that the president expressed anger towards the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Mr. Henry Quartey, during the Green Ghana Day celebration over the weekend. So a video clip from the event held at the University of Ghana went viral, showing the president seemingly directing the regional minister to reprimand the chief for not standing during the national anthem. However, the Regional Coordinating Council has clarified the situation, stating that the president was not expressing fury towards the regional minister. Instead, he was instructing him to address the invited guests who remained seated while the anthem was being played. And we feel, I quote, "we feel compelled to address certain misconceptions arising from this footage, as some have unfortunately misinterpreted the video to presume that the president was expressing fury at the Greater Accra Regional Minister," the GARCC said in a statement. So they explained the president was instructing the regional minister to take prompt action regarding some invited guests who chose to remain seated in disregard to the national anthem that was played before the start of the program. The president and all others had been up on their feet in patriotic reverence to the national anthem. And now the GARCC has urged the public and all well-meaning individuals to dismiss the false narrative being spun around the video, which appears to be an attempt to create unwarranted public disaffection. And there's also a statement from the chief who was at the center of this particular issue. And I just want to read that to you right now. Okay, so you're watching GTV Breakfast, and I'm sure you've seen that clip that was moving around, was going around over the weekend. So the chief of Mimpasem, Ni Togbo Obodai Ampao the Sixth, has apologized to President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for incurring his wrath during a national event on Friday, June 9th, 2023. According to the chief, his decision to remain seated while the national anthem played at the Green Ghana Day event was due to his state of health and not an act of disrespect to the president of the anthem. Quote, at the commencement of the program, the national anthem was observed, and the president was seen directing the regional minister for Greater Accra to get my attention to observe the anthem because I was seated whilst it was being observed. I respectfully wish to extend my sincerest apologies to the president and the good people of Ghana about this rather unfortunate incident, and I'm still quoting the chief. I'd like to state for the records that I did not elect to willfully refuse to stand to observe the national anthem. No patriotic son of the land would do so, let alone the chief. More so in the presence of the president and other distinguished guests. I did not stand to observe the national anthem because I felt weak. Even though I was not well and was on medication, I had endeavored to attend the program because I share in the vision of the president for the Green Ghana Day initiative. I was hoping everything would go as planned so I could retire home in time to continue with my recuperation, the chief said in a statement on Monday, 12th June, which is yesterday. So the president, during a ceremony at the Green Ghana Day held at the University of Ghana, was captured reacting furiously and instructing the Greater Accra Regional Minister to take some action. And so, so this is what the explanation of what went down is according to Ni Togbo Obodai Ampao and his elders. He was not feeling well, and so I hope that puts an end to the issue. He continues. He says, unfortunately for me, the program commenced rather late. I'd been sitting for a considerable period of time and thus felt weak from the effects of the medication and my ill health by the time the national anthem was being observed, which was why I was unable to stand on my feet to observe it, he stated. He says, I wish to assure the president and the good people of Ghana that I am a law-abiding citizen of this country, and also as a chief, it is incumbent on me at all times to uphold the sovereignty of this nation as enshrined in the national anthem. I would therefore, but for my temporary incapacitation, never refuse willfully to properly observe something as important as the national anthem. End quote. He's urging us to exercise restraint in their criticism of the president's reaction. So that's the chief of Mimpasem, Ni Togbo Obodai Ampao the Sixth, apologizing to the president and to all of us for his inability to rise for the anthem. And I was there, so I saw what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So, any comments you want to make?
Yeah, I think the response of the chief raised a number of issues. He talked about the late start of the program.
Yes.
It means still we are not time conscious. You invited people, they'll be waiting for you for a long time. So we need to change our attitude when it comes to events. So time consciousness must be our topmost priority. Number two, he explained that he was not well. That also means that I didn't know if they sent the program lineup to him in advance, on which it will be stated as part of the program there will be a national anthem for him to decide.
There's always an anthem when the president is coming.
Yeah.
Always. Beginning and end.
Beginning and end. So let's assume he had a program and he was expecting to actually rise up, as we all know. But he explained that his health condition. So what is coming out now that the president was furious, it means the president actually did not express the appropriate emotional intelligence at that time. The way I'm going to react now, what kind of emotional feelings will it generate in dear people, especially my guests? That's why sometimes it's good for us leaders to be very mindful of how we behave emotionally, because a number of things can be interpreted into how emotional reactions Many often leaders must become stuffers during public events. Even somebody angered you, you need to stop that anger and go and talk to the person behind. But if you allow yourself to be, you express yourself. A lot of people say, oh, you are not emotionally matured, you cannot control yourself emotionally and all that. We should not say this about our president. And also, there's also social intelligence. What I'm going to do now, how would the society or the people there will interpret my behavior? So you don't behave to allow people to read a lot of interpretation into your actions. So let's be mindful that when people are there looking at us, we should prompt ourselves that, look, my doings and my sayings must not generate any social misunderstanding. My doings and saying must not generate any negative emotional feelings in the people. Right now, people may develop some kind of hatred or anger towards the president or even the chief, and especially the regional minister. He say, you, your own chief, did not stand out when the national anthem was being played. So whatever went wrong, let's use that event as a starting point to redirect ourselves and correct ourselves that we do better next time. Let's start program on time and actually end in good time. Aging and its effects is clearly there. You cannot sit even sitting for 3 hours yourself, you are applying pressure on your spinal cord. It will affect you. If not now, later in life. So let's go to events on time and close on time.
Thank you for your thoughts, Professor Bruce. Let me ask a legal question. Are we enjoined by law to stand up for the anthem?
Yeah, to some extent.
There's a law on it?
Yeah, to some extent, not in its exact terms, but as a national of a country. In fact, in certain countries, before you can be given citizenship, you should be able to sing the national anthem or recite the pledge. And I want to agree with Prof that time consciousness is critical. It is one discipline that we are gradually losing in our public sector discourse, and I want us to bring it back. It is almost becoming normal that if the program is supposed to start at 10, because a certain big woman is late, we'll all be sitting down and waiting for that person. So for us at the Internal Audit Agency, if a program is starting at 10, we'll start at 10. If the person to do the opening is not in, we'll try and find somebody to do the opening and then go ahead. That's what we're doing. But let me also say that while the chief has responded, I think it's okay. Except that it introduces another question: whether or not NCC is helping people enough to appreciate the significance and the relevance of the national anthem and the pledge. If I have my own way, I'll say that every single public service officer must recite the national pledge every morning. And I like something that GBC you do. Every morning, before the 6 a.m. news, they will say the pledge. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. It is very important. We should not only recite it, we should intentionalize and internalize the words and the national anthem. So people must know its importance. NCC has a lot of work to do. They should continue to give us that education so that it makes us whole and full Ghanaians.
On that note, I'm going to ask you all to rise and we sing the national anthem. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine.
Good.
That's fine.
So we rise, and you're supposed to stop whatever you're doing when the anthem comes on, right?
Oh, yes, and be you have to be this
Attention position.
an attention
Okay.
position.
So God bless our homeland, Ghana. Let's sing. God bless our homeland, Ghana,
And make our nation great and strong,
bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility. Make us cherish fearless honesty. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. On that note, let us go to the Zoom lines and speak with another patriotic Ghanaian who is the executive director of the Ghana Association for Persons with Albinism. Today is International Albinism Awareness Day, and Newton Kataku is on the line. Newton, good morning. Happy International Albinism Awareness Day to you. Hello, Newton, can you hear me? We are going to...
Thank you very much, Kafui, and then good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners.
Yes, indeed. And I believe this year is also the 20th anniversary of the Ghana Association for Persons with Albinism. Is that correct?
Yes, this is the 8th anniversary of the International Albinism Awareness Day celebration, as being instituted by the United Nations.
Okay.
8 years ago.
All right. Well, happy celebration. What does this day mean to you as a person living with albinism?
Thank you very much. The theme for this year's celebration is inclusion in strength. And in coming to Ghana, because we are also celebrating our 20th anniversary as an association of persons with albinism, we couch it as inclusion in strength, adopting the National Action Plan for Persons with Albinism in Ghana. So this theme is being used to celebrate persons with albinism and also inform government on the new dawn that we should also think of having a national action plan for persons with albinism in the country. This is born out of the action plan for African Union, African albinism mechanism. So if Ghana also is adopting the African action plan, then we need to develop a national albinism plan for our people here.
What will be the key elements of this national action plan with respect to albinism?
The key element has to do with the strategies to effectively deal with persons with albinism and make sure that they feel included in the society, having to talk about education, having to talk about health, social well-being, security, and the various health and social needs that it comes associated with albinism in a good living. So the elements of these national action plan also is just a strategy to give action, a direction to how these actions to be implemented, especially on health, education, and social needs.
All right, Newton, just tell us, what's it like to be a person living with albinism in Ghana? Your personal experience, what's it like? Newton, can you hear me?
Please come again.
Yes. So what is it like to be a person living with albinism in Ghana? Newton, did you hear me? Our Zoom connection is not helping us, but we'll try and reconnect with him. So that was Newton Kataku. He is the executive director of the Ghana Association of Persons with Albinism, living with albinism. And today is International Albinism Awareness Day. And their theme this year is Inclusion in Strength, developing and adopting a national albinism action plan for Ghana. So this is the 8th year of the celebration of this particular awareness day worldwide. And the Ghana Association of Persons with Albinism is now a 20-year-old association this year. And so it's a kind of a double celebration. And we're trying to see if we can reconnect with the Zoom just to get his personal experience, and then we'll wrap up the conversation and then come back into the studio to continue our conversations right here on GTV Breakfast. I'll just run through the headlines while we try and connect with Newton. Daily Graphic, we need morally upright judges. President Akufo-Addo declares as he swears in new Chief Justice. Let's consolidate gains in constitutional democracy, says Speaker Bagbin. The Data Protection Commission has been warning the public against the online loan applications. And the GES Director General is asking that we have new teaching approaches because of the changing world. The Institute, there's a call to make tree planting a civic responsibility, so more work for already a quite stretched NCCE, National Commission for Civic Education. And Ghanaian Times, the president is tasking the new Chief Justice to bring honor to the judiciary. The 37 military hospital has been ordered to release a report on the death of a particular person to the family. And Ghana is now number one in terms of gold production worldwide. So the lands minister is quite happy about that. And Moody's has upgraded Ghana's local currency ratings from CA to CAA3. A stable outlook is being maintained. And there's the belief that the IMF program and others could help Ghana improve our credit rating. BOG, Bank of Ghana, is trying to bring down inflation in order to impact the economy significantly. And Ghanaians are suffering because of economic policies. That's a story there on page 5. And then workers, employers ghosting each other. We're talking about the exodus of Ghanaian professionals, especially in the health sector, in the next hour. So that's a conversation you really want to be part of. I don't know whether we can get back to Newton again. If not, we'll just have to bounce off. If we get through to him, we will just continue that conversation. But basically, today is International Albinism Awareness Day. If you're a person living with albinism, and I'd love to hear from you, okay, 055-556-1034. Okay, we've had a bite at some of the stories here. Any more that interest you, Dr. Osai?
Yes, the African Union has an action plan to protect albinism.
Exactly.
And Ghana is a signatory to that action plan. So I would expect that as a country, we fully implement our commitment under the AU Action Plan 2021 to 2031 to end attacks and other human rights violations on albinism, and also give them the opportunities to lead a normal life in this country.
What was your experience in growing up in school with people with
Interesting.
Did you have any in law school?
I didn't meet any in law school in my batch, but in the secondary school I had a number of friends and very intelligent guys, very, very intelligent guys.
Did you feel that they suffered discrimination?
In our case, no. In our case, no, because Presbyterian Boys Secondary School gives everybody a level playing field, and it's a leveler institution, and we bond. So even when it comes to putting us in dormitories, they try to put us, people from different places, in one dorm so that we'll bond. So we bonded, and they didn't face discrimination with us. We were nice and everything. So when I grew up and I started reading about discrimination, etc., I was quite surprised. But I'm happy the African Union has come up with an action plan. Ghana is a signatory, and we should do everything possible to protect them, integrate them, give them the opportunity to lead a normal life.
Prof. Bruce,
yeah,
what's your experience?
I've never gone to school with any of those individuals who we call the albino. But then I've heard a lot of stories about how they are maltreated socially. They don't recognize them as normal human beings amongst us. We have heard stories that people use them for rituals and all those things. Even some parents are ashamed that they have them as their children. They are human beings. But I think one scientist told me that these are the effects of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb that was thrown some years back. And it has effect on genetic mutation. That's what they are suffering from. So all albinos all over the world are the result of this atomic bomb which was thrown during that time on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We still have the effects over there. So that has led to the genetic mutation, and we are having.
But that can't be true though, because we've had albinos before that bomb that was thrown in 1945. We've had albinos for a long time.
For a long, okay.
Yeah, it's a genetic mutation. That one
genetic
we can agree
mutation
with
that
yes.
is there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
People also maybe allow that it has strengthened its let's say resurgence.
Because we have
Once
albinism in mammals, you have albinism in non-humans, horses and dogs and whatever. Yeah.
But people may come out with their own theories just to maybe add up to the preventionist approach to wars and all those things. So let's put them aside. But in fact, socially, we need to integrate them and treat them as normal human beings. Whatever skills we can give them to also make them function. So I one of our pastors is like that. He's performing well. He even rose to the rank of a senior moderator before he has been transferred to another place. So they function. They go to school. He's even a professional teacher. His skin does not prevent him from delivering his professional competence. So they are normal. We should not be shy of having them as brothers and sisters or as children. We should treat them just that we all have control over giving birth to normal people without that condition. Anything that counts, we should accept it and make sure that society provides for them adequately. Just like we are fighting for a disability-friendly environment, anything that we can do to the albinos also to feel part of the society, we must do it. Now, coming to GAS, I welcome their call because what I'm seeing now, you see, we are only preparing our children for only 3 things in the educational system. And therefore, the purely lecture methods, let me tell you what I rate, is dominating.
Okay.
For instance,
please hold on to this point.
Okay.
Mr. Kacheku is back. I was trying to get his personal experience, and then I'll come back to you. So don't forget that point about education. Newton, good to have you back. I was asking you what it's like. What's your personal experience of being a person living with albinism in Ghana? Newton, do you hear me? This Zoom is playing Chaskele with us, man. Yeah. Prof, can you offer a silent prayer for the Zoom to work?
Oh,
It will work.
it will work.
By faith.
It will work, eh?
It will work by faith.
I think this prayer was defense by the National Communication Authority.
So the NCA must be praying for our lines.
Yes.
Let's see. Newton, can you hear me? This is GTV Breakfast. Newton, unmute you should unmute his microphone. Yes, I think, Zoom, technology things, and this Zoom thing, you've got to be very careful that you don't keep your microphone on when you're having private conversations. Before you know, you are broadcasting what people should not be hearing to the whole world. So I think they're trying to get him to unmute his microphone so that we can have this conversation on albinism. There were so many myths that we grew up with, and I wonder whether those myths still persist. But I'd love to hear from him himself on what the situation is right now. Remember that the theme this year is inclusion in strength, and it will be on developing and adopting a national albinism action plan for Ghana to be held at. So there's a conversation that's going to be held today at the AMA, marking the 20th anniversary of the GAPA, and then marking this day as well. Do we have Newton on the line now? So the NCA guys are praying for us. So hopefully we should have Newton Kacheku back on the line so we can do this. We don't have him back. So when we get him back, we'll get him through. You're talking about education.
Yes. There are 3 key dominant characteristics of our educational system today. Our children are only taught to do memorization, seeking for the right answer, and making the grades. It's more like chew and pour.
Memorize, answer, grades.
Yeah.
Mag.
So even when you go to, if you want a better school, they advertise the grades that they have gotten over the years. So there is no way for you to do otherwise than to make the grade and seek for the right answer. So if right now, a kindergarten child will take assignment home as to how he or she was able to get those answers, the teachers don't care. They will just mark very good, not knowing they are marking their parents. It's the parents who are doing the homework. So we are pushing that, it's about the grades, it's about the mark, it's about the right answer. And so whatever, all our attention is, give them the information to know and then reproduce back. It is not helping us in any way. All that we need to do is laboratory approach, skillful training, handling. So we should build more laboratories. It's not by GES saying that we should change the syllabus or the strategy or the methodology of classroom delivery. We need to have the resources. If I'm teaching about the anatomy of the human being, the skeleton must be there.
Okay. So more practical education.
More practical education.
All right.
And then how to also answer questions. A lot of our people there, including university students, they don't know how to answer questions. So we also need a lot of education measurement and evaluation in terms of how to answer questions. You may teach already, but if I don't know how to answer questions, no matter how intelligent I am, I may not certify the exam, I'll fail.
Okay.
So let's go practical.
All right, let's go practical. Let's know how to answer questions. And it's all about grades. Let me see right now. They say if Sidra, you go by land. So we've left Zoom and now we're on phone. And that's the prayer, the NCA prayer. Newton, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. So Newton Kacheku is the Executive Director of the Ghana Association for Persons with Albinism. I wanted to know, what is it like to be a person living with albinism in 21st century Ghana?
First century Ghana.
Yes. What's your personal experience?
It's not experience because it is characterized with a number of discrimination, stigma, and inhuman practices.
Please put your TV off so we speak through the phone. All right?
My TV is off. I'm now by my phone.
Okay.
I don't know where the noise is coming from, though.
All right, let's speak. So what's your personal experience?
Personal experience is where you've been hooted at, and when you be chased, where you be chased at, one is being chased out from the community because of the outdated cultural practices. Where I was asked not to live in that community because of the cultural belief and practices, which was also infringing on the rights of persons with albinism and persons with disability. But again, when children with albinism are not being catered for in the school-going age, where teachers are unable to look at the needs and use the right methodology in teaching, educating learners with albinism. 21st century Ghana or living with albinism is not very palatable at present, where families turn out women or men with albinism because they cannot marry their family out. In Africa and in Ghana, it's not a good sign of inclusion.
Have you at any point in your life felt that your very life was threatened because you were a person living with albinism?
On several occasions, personally, yes, my life has been threatened as a person with albinism because of traditional beliefs. Where I traveled to a funeral, I am not welcome in that community.
Has the church helped you? I mean, the traditions are very much discriminatory, but how about religion? Has religion been a source of refuge?
Religion, I may say, it has been a source of refuge for persons with albinism, because individual person living with a condition find asylum in churches that are close by them, and that is the only refuge that we can seek asylum for. Apart from that, some communities or families has also been a refuge for persons with albinism, because they accept and they tolerate, because of the education they were given. They understand how to handle learners or children or persons with albinism condition.
I must imagine that with the impending elections, the people of your community become agitated because of the link between politics and attacks on people with albinism. Is it still something that you are concerned about?
This has been much of our concern when there is politics and there is elections. When because of the stigma or the myth surrounding albinism, that persons with albinism are good omen for riches. Some also attribute that persons with albinism are also good omen for power or for power, political power. Not too long ago, in 2008, after the 2008 election, there has been an article written by one sheikh, which attributes that during the 2008 election, children or persons with albinism and marginalized communities were used as sacrifice for elections campaign. We will not dispute that because of the myths surrounding albinism and power. So during elections, we caution or educate our members to stay safe and be very vigilant as they go about their political or their daily life in terms of aligning themselves to politics.
Just before I let you go, there's going to be an event today to mark the day. What do you hope to get out of the awareness, the celebration of this particular International Albinism Awareness Day? Newton? Newton was a scientist, right? I think the God of Newton must work and intervene on this light, on this line. Newton, can you hear me? I think we'll probably have to leave it here. So basically, he spoke to us about the experiences that they said, even to the point of being threatened with death, and killing, and people using people with albinism as a source of money rituals and power rituals. So it's of grave concern. These are fellow citizens who also sing the national anthem and have every right to exist on this land as you and I, anybody else. And so we are just calling attention to this particular day and hope that the theme that they've chosen this year, inclusion in strength, is made manifest in this action plan that they are looking forward to bringing into existence to deal with issues of people affecting people with albinism in Ghana. You're watching #GTV Breakfast. Thank you very much, Newton Katseku, Executive Director of GAPA, for that conversation and those insights. These loan application people, you hear about them, right? So Data Protection Commission is warning the public against these people. So page 20, and these people actually get access to your telephone, your contacts, and then start threatening you with all kinds of things. So the Data Protection Commission has cautioned the public to refrain from downloading applications that request access to their personal and private space. Executive Director Patricia Idusai Poku gave the caution. So she said that digital loan services included, amongst others, let's hear them: Fcash X, Kudi Credit, Popcash, Sikapes, Fcash, Soft Cash with a K, Sikadua. That one sounds like a money tree, right? Yeah. Wow, what a name. Akwaba Cash, yeah, welcoming money. Ultra Loans, Loan Pro, Match Loan or Mach Loan, Coco Loan, Bosia Fie Loans, Mom Cash, On Loans, and CD Story. So she has put out these companies where people have been complaining seriously about harassment and using a debt shaming approach to deal with defaulters. So let me read them again for you: Fcash X, Kudi Credit, Popcash, Sikapes, Fcash, Soft Cash, Sikadua, Akwaba Cash, Ultra Loans, Loan Pro, Mach Loan, Coco Loan, Bosia Fie Loans, Mom Cash, On Loans, and CD Store. They all sound like nicknames you give to your friends in secondary school. But these are loan companies that are causing a lot of havoc with people and their privacy and their reputations. So be very careful. Please read today's daily graphic, page 20. Data Protection Commission is warning you against these online loan applications. Too many people are falling victim of this. They need quick money, they sign up, and then they get harassed.
I see.
It's news to you.
It's not news. I've heard it, but I know that Data Protection Commission is on top of issues. So they should work with the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization. They should work with Bank of Ghana. We should not sit and wait for the unexpected to happen. In most cases, they will target the vulnerable. In most cases, they will target the people who would download and then take loans ranging 100 Ghana, 200 Ghana. And when you take quick loans, 200 Ghana, you end up paying 500 Ghana. So people should be wary of some of these things. And they should be very careful. Where in doubt, Call the Data Protection Commission and they will give you advice and direction. But be very careful. There is no free lunch in this world.
What is the psychological term for this kind of
behavior?
Yes.
You see, when people are suffering from what we call deprivation neurosis, they engage in anything that will give them satisfaction of the basic necessities of life. As if there's some kind of void created in them and that they have insatiable demands for everything.
You have to feel it.
You have to feel it. It's not nice. Their primary concern is full shelter clothing. Anything that they can do, anything that is put down as a bait, they will go in for it. It is telling us that still we have many more people who are at the base of life, and all that they are preoccupied is full shelter clothing. And so when you have a trap like this, you apply it.
It's a trap, eh?
It's a trap. Where will you take 200 and pay 500? Yeah. It's because your hand is, oh, give me. You see, you take it before you realize that you are in trouble. That notwithstanding, there are some people, even these cash guys you have mentioned, MTN, they also borrow money to people. They borrow the money before they change their lines again. Now that the lines are blocked, as to how they also retrieve those monies. You see, we must be educated that anything that says, oh, borrow, then we are quick to go. I don't really know what is happening. So these are the people I'm saying that they are suffering from deprivation neurosis. They are the targets of these groups. They give you 100 and take 200. You are rather, you end up making money for them. And you are making yourself more and more and more poor. You keep on borrowing, and you complicate the borrowing to the point that there's nothing you can do for yourself except you run away. You see the point? So we need to protect them. They are vulnerable. Education must be intensified. That look, if you need a loan, I mean, there are proper ways of getting the loan. Not this
way.
As if this is free, then you keep on suffering.
I don't know whether this has happened to you before, but of late, when I want to transfer money to somebody, I'm assuming that the phone that they are WhatsApping me with is their Momo phone or their mobile money phone.
Account.
They say, no, don't send the money there.
You see it.
I said, why not? They say, if you send the money there, the telephone company will keep some of the money because they owe. So they give you another number to send the money to because, So people are being ensnared in debt.
Yeah, in debt.
Yeah.
You see, so they have our 4 chips. This one they tell you, oh, please, if you want to send me, call me, I'll give you a number. Then you know he has owed that line. When will you pay? When will you pay? So there are a lot of vulnerable people in the system. And these online loans too, I don't even know what is happening to them. People go to banks, they borrow, they cannot pay. They're online. You see, sometimes people think they are smart. If I take it, I change my chip or I throw it out. No, you cannot. So that's why this SIM registration is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important. It will prevent us from a lot of these things.
Yeah.
You see. Right. No, very reliable people, they ask you money, you want to say, no, don't put it there, you send it to this number. It is just borrowed money from there.
Oh, they do it to you too?
Oh, yes. I send money to the person, why did you tell me?
It happened to me too.
You've worried me.
Yes, you've worried me, the money is locked up.
It's got into a different account.
Hey, what a world, 21st century, very interesting.
But Cap, that's why the Ghana card is important.
Yeah.
You know, because of the Ghana card, you can be tracked wherever you go, and you can't run away. So please, like Prof has advised, let us be careful. There's nothing wrong going to the various banks. If we have a number of good savings and loans companies, we even have some rural and community banks that can give you 100 Ghana, 200 Ghana. We even have what we call overdraft. So please, if you don't have money, and once you have a bank account, you can go there, have a discussion with them. They can even allow you to withdraw up to 50% of your salary. If you don't even have a bank account, once you have a Ghana card and you can be traced, you can be tracked, you go to a bank and they'll look at the Ghana card. Because now with the Ghana card, your GPS address is there. You can't run away. So default risk is very low as far as borrowing is concerned. So please, do not fall into this trap. It is not good. It will affect your reputation. It will affect everybody, and it doesn't help.
Okay, so I just want to read a story. I don't know whether you saw this video of a young lady who was being molested by several men. It's a viral video that's going around. and there's been some developments on that. So the IGP has met the Fulani leadership over a woman that was stripped and molested by several men in a viral video. So in a conference phone call with the president of the National Council for Fulani Chiefs, Alhaji Idrisu Mohammed Bingo, and the security expert Adib Sani, the IGP, Dr. Akufo Adampare, has assured that the perpetrators of the violent assault against a young Fulani woman in a viral video would be brought to book. He said his commanders were on the ground working to apprehend the perpetrators. He's called for calm and appealed to the Fulani leadership to talk to their people, to maintain cool heads and trust the enforcement to deliver. So it was this woman who was stripped naked, and these people were just assaulting her. It was not good to look at all. So it's good to know that the police are up and about and have been doing their stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. So those are the headlines. So let me just run through the headlines briefly before we go. Daily Graphic: we need morally upright judges, says the president. Let's consolidate gains in constitutional democracy. Data Protection Commission warns public against online loan application. The changing world requires a new teaching approach, says the GGS, and make tree planting a civic responsibility, says this institute that's very interested in matters of tree planting. Your final comments? I'll start with Dr. Osai.
Yes, I think in the news, Treasury single account is in operation, and I've heard people saying that it's part of the IMF conditions. It is not, because under the Public Financial Management Act, Section 46, Treasury single account is critical. Every public institution is expected to open an account with Bank of Ghana, and we are directing that you should not open multiple bank accounts, so we'll be able to track government funds. So Treasury single account is a PFM requirement. It is not an IMF requirement. It's a fiscal consolidation measure. It helps government to know where its money is, and it will help all of us to manage government resources effectively. So that's what I want to say.
Okay. Prof, what's your final comment?
Yeah, my final comment is to our newly appointed Chief Justice. Her Ladyship Gertrude Torkornoo. Just like in Solomon, who sat on the throne and had to give judgment in respect of two women struggling from the same child. This is a test case for her. The woman who has been gang raped, the one that you just read. Fulani, I'm sure most of them are Muslims. They are not like free women who dress to attract men sexually. So the dress is even something that will not attract these men. But so long as they were antisocial elements and rape this lady, the Chief Justice must use this as a test case and punish severely those men behind this act. This is her first test case. She must disgrace them in public and let it become a warning to any man who would dare rape any woman, because that woman is likely to have the ability to become a Chief Justice like her. And please, our ladies too, when they are in their adolescence, you know, the biological preparedness of becoming a motherhood is high, menstruation and all that. The duty on sanitary part, our women are saying, is too much. If they can do something about it, so that it will be affordable, that out of shame they will not go to school because they have nothing to protect themselves. We have many more of Chief Justice from these women.
Thank you.
Inability to control their menses alone can deprive them of classroom attendance.
Exactly.
And they may not become Chief Justice like this woman.
Thank you.
I rest my case.
Your case is rested. Prof. Bruce, Dr. Osai, thank you so much.
You.
3 quick messages. They are all on the national anthem. I want to read them from you. Sama sent us a message. Good morning, gentlemen. I was very glad to see the president express anger on fellow Ghanaians who did not pay respect to the national anthem being played. I hope the president gets more angrier on his appointees when they also disrespect Ghanaians by being corrupt. God bless Ghana. Another message on the anthem. Isaac K. Ampoma. President is older than many of our chiefs, yet the president, whether unwell or not, is able to stand for the national anthem. Again, the chief should seek permission for not being able to stand. So that's another thought there. And Spelele, Amico Spelele in Kaswa Republic. Undoubtedly, Mpasem Chief apologizing to President Nana Addo and Ghanaians with regards to disrespecting the national anthem is a step in the right direction. In fact, I salute him for exhibiting maturity. Amico Spelele in Kaswa Republic. Since he's also dropping his nickname, my name is Raskaf. Raskaf, ending. Prof, what was your nickname in school?
Sagacity.
Sagacity. I love it. Doc, what was your nickname?
Odiniho.
Odiniho. So from Odiniho, Sagacity, and Raskaf. Stay tuned. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast. Drop your nickname. Okay, we want to know. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.